G'day legends, Blake here with another video, and today I'm going to show you how to be successful keeping and breeding Kubutai Rasboras, aka neon green Rasboras. I'm going to keep it short and to the point, so without any further ado, let's jump straight into it. This tank is 2 foot or 60 centimeters, perfect for a group of 10 to 20 neon green Rasboras, and I'd recommend 10 as a minimum size to keep them. They are a shoaling fish, very peaceful however, so you can keep them with other tank mates like pygmy cories, clown killifish, and any of those other small fish like that. But for the most part, they're just going to enjoy exploring a planted environment if you can provide them live plants. But if you can't, at least provide some kind of shelter through artificial or silk plants or anything else. I'll bring you down to my little breeding cart here, which is definitely a bit of a janky fish nerd operation here where I've run out of space for everything else. So I created a rolling cart to place their breeding tank on, but it definitely serves the purpose. But let's run through some of their requirements for water. So Microdivarieo Kubutai or Kubutai Rasboras, they come from Southeast Asia, in particular Myanmar. So they're going to enjoy a neutral to acidic pH, more acidic if you are going to breed, but I'll get into that a little bit later, but at least pH 7 or below for these guys. So consider that if you've got hard water out of the tap. In terms of feeding, they're pretty easy. They'll take to most pre-prepared foods like pellets and flakes and that sort of thing. But they really enjoy live baby brine shrimp as well, like most fish, to be honest. As I mentioned, shoaling fish, females are going to be a lot more rounded and rotund, and males more slender and slim. This is easiest to see from above, especially early hours of the morning before they've laid any eggs. But as you can see, really active and inquisitive fish. And yeah, they don't really have requirements in terms of substrate or anything else, other than just being a small fish and wanting to have places to hide in order to feel comfortable. In terms of temperature, here in the fish room, the room is heated to about 25 degrees Celsius, which I think is about 78 Fahrenheit. However, obviously this tank is on the floor, so I'd say it's about 22 degrees to 24 degrees Celsius or 72 to 76 Fahrenheit, somewhere along that. If that's wrong, I'll correct it on the screen. But they can be kept fairly cool to sort of moderate temperature. They don't have to be kept hot or anything like that. And in terms of breeding, they are an egg scattering fish. So early hours of the morning, they'll scatter their eggs far and wide, and they'll exhibit no parental behavior at all. So if you do want your fry to survive, then you got to probably take them away from the mouths of the adults here. And what I started with early days was my usual 3D printed breeder box here, which has been successful for CPDs and emerald Rasboras, but wasn't overly successful with these guys. So after Regina Spotty came and visited my fish room the other week, she gave me some tips which I've put into play, and they've been absolutely fantastic. First one was at least 50% RODI water in the tank. So due to my soft water, I started with 50%, and that's worked really well. But if you do have very hard tap water, I'd even recommend probably 70, 80, 90 or 100% RODI water, though I do like to have some mineral content in there for the fish. I just think that's beneficial. But including at least half of the tank RODI water seems to work really well. As you can see, we've got some yellow, so it kind of looks like a bit of a urine sample, but tannic water here, and that's from putting in 2 Indian almond leaves, but anything else will work. Oak leaves, alder cones, anything that's gonna bring in some tannins into the tank. Typically I don't have a light on this aquarium because I like it to be darker and more secure for secluded for them, so they feel safer. So a low or no light at all, I think, is perfect for breeding. And because this tank here is on the floor, I try not to walk around it as much as possible because it's pretty unusual for a fish. You know, they're not used to seeing feet walk past them at eye level. So I just try and think about those kind of natural things to avoid. And when I first put them in here, I made sure to condition them up with live baby brine shrimp every day for about a week. And that's pretty much exclusively what I've been feeding them whilst they've been in here breeding for me. And they were saying in this species in particular, they spread their eggs really far distances. They don't really concentrate them as much as some of those other fish. So I thought potentially size was an issue of the breeder box here. So the next step up to try and experiment with this before getting too excited was I went off and created this box here, which just has some fairly large gauge fly screen, fly mesh on the top, and it's pretty much the entire size of the tank here. So I put some moss on the top of that and a rock on top of that, and just let it sit in there and see if there was going to be fry as a result. And sure enough, a few days later, I just came in here with a torch and or a flashlight, and all along the side here, I just saw a little fry hanging on there, new hatchlings. So this clearly worked, but obviously it was a bit of a pain to take out and put back in the tank, although this can be definitely a great DIY option if you do want to make one at home. All it is, super glue the fly screen mesh on, find a suitable container, and off you go. You're pretty much at the races at that point. But me, I didn't want to put my hand in the tank because, again, I'm sure the fish aren't really used to seeing a hand come and collect their moss every day, and I'd probably avoid it too if that was happening to me. So I just 3D printed a breeder box exactly the same but 4 times the size. And this has been working really, really well. So come through here, turn on the airlift every day, and the eggs come up into this hang-on breeder box. Now, as you can maybe see here, I'll probably have to switch over to the bigger camera just to show you. There's heaps and heaps of little fry in here now, about 20, 30, maybe even 40. It's kind of hard to see all at once, but they just get hatched up here every single day, and all I do is turn the air on for about 15 seconds at morning and night, and we have pretty much baby rasboras on tap. Well, baby Microdavario technically. To feed the fry then, I just put in some vinegar eels for the first couple of days, and then some microworms for the next few days after that. And eventually I'll move them up to a separate 20-litre aquarium or 5-gallon tank to raise up for the next 2 or 3 months before either starting up another colony or moving them on or incorporating them back into this colony if I wish to increase the numbers a little bit. Although probably most likely what I'll do is I'll split this colony in half and then add some of the juveniles into either of those, but that's a work in progress, I guess. But I haven't found the fry really difficult to feed. They hatch really, really quickly, I think, in this tannic water, like within 24 hours, so that's really great. And then as adults, they'll eat any kind of food, so that's really not a drama there. But really easy fish to cultivate once you get the ingredients right. They can be pretty hard to find, but once you do, I find that they're just really, really sought after. And once you mention them at a club meet or to other fish keeper friends, they'll say, "Oh, have you got those fish? I'm really after them." So if you are looking for something that can be bred and sold fairly readily, then this could be the one for you. But overall, I'd certainly recommend picking up and trying Microdavario cubotai. Beautiful little fish, rare color to find in the aquarium. Really peaceful, takes to all the bunches of different foods, and especially if you're looking to set up a blackwater tank, that can be a really great option, but it doesn't necessarily have to be blackwater either. And they'll really activate a planted tank, I think, by having flashes of green through a green planted tank. I think that could be really magic. But if this video has helped you, it certainly helps me to hit like, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. Thanks to others in the hobby that helped me out, such as Regina and members of the ASCV with their tips and tricks, and I'm glad that it started to work for me now. So other than that, I'll catch you on the next one. Happy fish keeping.